I'm super excited to kind of talk a little bit about my role, how I got here, and the future of AI, machine learning, and big data. So, alrighty. So, a little bit about me. I am currently in Dallas, Texas. I was born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware. I do also have family members in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania as well too. So, big tri-state baby, Delaware, Jersey, Pennsylvania. I've been in customer success for a little over 10 years. So I've had roles at Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and ServiceNow. Obviously, right now, primarily in the customer success account management realm. I actually was just nominated for this year's the top 100 customer success thought leaders. So I'm super excited to kind of share a little bit about that. Obviously, how I got started, any tips and tricks to kind of help you, especially with this, a lot of layoff situation. And I've also had accounts in the public and private sector, and just a little bit about me outside of work. I'm an avid traveler. I've been to about 35 countries. I was actually in Milan about 2 weeks ago, so a lot of travels, and I'm a big foodie as well too. So again, not a lot of slides here. I do have questions to keep this interactive. Again, I'm only on one screen, so I won't be able to answer all the questions, but I will have some time after, so everybody can ask as many questions, and you'll also be able to connect with me on LinkedIn. Alrighty. So I wanted to kind of stop here and just because again, we only have 30, 45 minutes. I know I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's question, but I am active on LinkedIn. So feel free to kind of scan the QR code, connect with me on LinkedIn. And then if I don't able to answer your question on this session, I will definitely be able to answer it on LinkedIn. So reach out to me anytime. So I'm going to leave this up for a few seconds just to make sure that everybody has my contact information.
Hey, Mark, the window right now is we're seeing the kind of the bottom part. If you could scroll your screen up a little bit so we could see the top.
Okay, let me. You're still seeing. Let me stop sharing and reshare. Let me see if you guys can see this. Let me see if I can share it. Alrighty, see if this works. Apologies on the. Let me try this. Window, open system, screen time. Let me see if that works. Why is this not working? Let me see. It says I need to restart. I don't want to do that. Let me try this. See if this works. Let me see this because I don't want to stop the. It says I have to close Chrome. Let me try this. See if this works. 1 second. Share screen. What do you guys see now?
We've got the chat GPT window.
You still don't see it. Okay. I have my presentation open. Let me stop sharing. Let me stop audio and video. If I stop audio and video, am I able to rejoin or no? I just want to make sure.
You should be able to
Okay.
rejoin.
I'm not sure why it's not coming up. I see my presentation.
Okay. So, folks, Mark is addressing some technical issues right now, and he's hopefully he's back and ready. How's it going now, Mark?
Let's see. Open system.
Okay, we'll try another reset here. Thank you for the patience, folks. Again, we're just trying to get things straightened out for Mark's session for us today. In the meantime, I hope that everybody had a chance to be at Kelsey's keynote. The depth of industry experience that he's had, the knowledge that he has accumulated. Every time I listen to him, I learn something new. And even if you're not a developer, particularly, he had things to say that were relevant to your career path and to kinds of things that you wanted that I think we all want to kind of accomplish in our technical careers. So that was a good time hearing that. We're going to continue to give Mark a little bit more time to go ahead and get back in. And while we're still waiting for Mark,
I'm back. I wanted to see, are you guys able to see, because it shut me out. Let me I'm not sure why is it not working.
So previously we were seeing the LinkedIn page, but it was like he had scrolled down the page. We didn't see the top part.
Okay.
But we did see the page previously.
So let me see something really quick. If I show you, let me try this. Share screen, window. You know what? Let me do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This should work. How about this? Let me see if I can try this. Google Slides. How about this? How about now?
Beautiful. We see a Google Slide presentation.
So do you see the? I just want to make sure you guys see the full presentation.
Yeah, title screen: How customer success is shaping the future of AI.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty. Sorry about that, folks. Alrighty. So, kind of back to what I was saying again. So I've been in customer success for a little over 10 years. I've had pretty much a lot of roles at Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and ServiceNow. Again, as I mentioned, I was actually nominated for the top 100 Customer Success Thought Leader Award. I actually was nominated yesterday. So again, I'm super excited for that, to continue to help my community that not only look like me, but obviously people that want to obviously break into tech or just be a thriving member in customer success. And again, I'm a big foodie, I'm a big travel advocate, and I've also had accounts in the public and private sector. Already. I also mentioned about this. So again, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you can see this, but the QR code, again, you can just type my first and last name. First name is Mark. My last name is Mosley. Again, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. Alrighty, so what is in it for you? And again, I do apologize for the technical difficulties. Again, we are in technology. Sometimes these things happen. So before we even dive into AI, big data, ML, AI, we need to understand what customer success is. What is the foundation of customer success? What do I do, right? And I'm going to be presenting this as a learning mode. I'm not going to present this like everybody is a customer success manager. Everybody's in technology. Again, I want you guys to understand the basics and apply these methodologies into your current role in your current industries. Second thing, drive proactive customer success by predicting needs. Everything that we do with these customers should be proactive. Obviously, we are proactively working with these customers to make sure that these customers are getting value. We're not waiting until things happen. We're being proactive, and that's pretty much the name of the game as a customer success manager. Dive into the next three things. Obviously, leveraging AI-driven tools. Again, these AI tools are not they're not to help us do our job better. They help us to do our job better, but at the same time, we need to also understand. We need to make sure that we are understanding, prompt engineering, the data behind it. So obviously, AI is a tool for us. That's a huge words in the industry right now, but we also need to understand the foundation of it. And with me, I don't even talk technology with my customers. I want to make sure that the strategy is in place first. Once we have the strategy, I'm making sure that I'm aligning the right resources. Then obviously the technology is going to continue to evolve. But again, we got to understand the basics first. There's no point of talking about the technology if we don't understand how people are going to use the technology, how we're going to obviously combat it and make it obviously ethical and safe AI practices. And then obviously big data. Data is king, right? So we doesn't matter what role that you're in. If you don't have data, we can't make better data-driven decisions. And obviously, that's the whole point of technology. We need to look at this data to help our customers. Alrighty. So very simply put, I'm not sure, everybody that's on this call, whether you're in technology, whether you're a CSM, whether you're seasoned or whether you're an entry level professional. I think it's also very, very important to kind of understand what I do, right? So I broke this kind of down very easy and very simply put, customer onboarding, right? So what is that? We're just simply showing the customer what we do, the value that they are getting from our products and services, right? Uh, Second thing, relationship management. We manage stakeholders. So I normally work with decision makers. They can be technical and non-technical folks, but again, we are managing stakeholders. So relationship management is key. It doesn't matter if you're in sales, doesn't matter if you're in pre-sales, doesn't matter if you're in engineering. At the end of the day, anything in technology is relationship based, right? Product adoption, you know, that is how the customer is going to get value. The only way we can get value is by asking them, what are your goals and objectives? How can we kind of help? Doesn't matter if you're interested in Azure. Doesn't matter if you are, working for SAP or any other the technological platforms. At the end of the day, people use the technology to make their life easier, and obviously they are adopting the tools, the methodologies, the trainings to help them thrive in whatever industry that the person or your customer might be doing. Last few things here: value realization. Again, the happier the customers are, the more that we can sell. Again, we do work with a lot of the sales team, so we understand, what's coming down the pipeline. How can we align your sales strategy aligned to the post-sale strategy? Customer feedback. Again, we're front and center with these customers every single day, right? So we are understanding what's working, and we're taking that feedback back to the development teams and engineering teams. And pretty much most people, it doesn't really matter if you're seasoned, or you are just starting out in your technology journey. Everybody has to use data, right? So some of the tools that we use is Tableau, Tango. I used to work at Microsoft, so obviously Microsoft is a big, huge CRM suite. So just be mindful of, obviously, if you're looking to break into a customer success management type of role, and also even if you don't work with a specific role like myself, you still have to understand how we work. So again, I'm not sure if you guys are interested in. Again, I can't monitor the chat right now, but I definitely want to open the floor up for 15 minutes to ask any questions, and that could be around, kind of how I got started, what am I currently doing, how can we kind of upskill, especially with the AI age. So, um, already. So driving proactive customer success. So I kind of listed a few things here. Again, this is based upon my industry, customer success, right? So everything that we do, we're utilizing these tools to identify patterns in the customer behavior. Again, these tools are going to help us create better success plans. These tools are going to help us be proactive in our role, but it doesn't take away the human touch, right? Just imagine, you're calling T-Mobile, you have a customer question, or Verizon for that matter, right? People want to talk to a human. They don't want to talk to a computer or a robot, right? But again, as a customer success manager looking into the future, these AI tools, these ML tools are going to help us pretty much take the mundane task away, right? So I have a question for everybody here. Again, I can't monitor the chat right now because I am on one screen, but I wanted to take a few minutes and say, and ask this question: in your specific role or industry, how is success measured? Right. So just take a few minutes, just input, your current role, whatever that you do. What does success look like? Right. Obviously, success for us in our industry is happy customers. Right. We want to make sure that they are renewing, they are healthy. So just put a few things in the chat, and again, I'll get to it once I'm able to see the full screen. But I'm just curious to see who we have in the room and how do you guys measure success. Alrighty. Again, I can't see the answers, but again, I will definitely get back to it. But again, I want to make sure that this is interactive. I don't want to just speak it to you guys. I want to make sure that this is interactive, and obviously, you can ask any questions. No question is a dumb question. I know this is remote, but I'm trying to keep this upbeat and interactive as possible. Alrighty, moving on to the next slide. Kind of will be piggybacked off of the next topic. Leveraging AI tools for efficiency and retention. Again, this is the future, right? So obviously, right now, we don't have specific chatbots and specific tools, but we do have tools to help us. Chat GPT, right? Because we're working with these customers day in and day out, so we're able to utilize the information, the meetings that we're having, and we can leverage these tools, right? So obviously, for example, for me, right, we do a lot of mundane tasks, administration work, setting the agenda for the meetings, working with key stakeholders. So just imagine in the future of AI, all of this tedious stuff that I have to do in my role. It'll be amazing if we have a chatbot or a feature that can kind of implement and do half of the stuff that we normally do. And again, I always like to say, understand, your role, right? So take the roles and take the responsibilities that sometimes you don't like in the job description, or maybe the role that you're doing currently, right? So um, just imagine two things. I want you to imagine two things, right? So think of a few things in your role that you currently do right now, whether it be tools or platforms. Just imagine if you didn't have that, and how is that going to make your job? Is it going to make it a little bit easier, or is it going to make it a lot harder? I give you guys a few minutes to put stuff in the chat. So it could be CRM tools, it could be engineering platforms, anything that you do in your day to day that you don't necessarily like that you want to do. Think about how AI can kind of help you.
Hey, Mark, in answer to your first question, you had some folks talking about how they measure success. Got Monica saying it's in issues resolved. You got Pamela saying it's in managing risks. Sasha is measuring success with the KPIs and making money for the company. Aaliyah's talking about how she's tracking progress through student goals. And regarding tools, we already have one vote for Chat GPT and Salesforce.
Yep. Good, all good stuff. All good stuff. Like I said, depending on, doesn't really matter what platform that you use, especially in the technology space. Everybody's pretty much using Microsoft tools. A lot of us are using Tableau, Salesforce, different things like that. So I would say understand how to use those tools to your benefit, specific to the role, and keep things simple, right? AI. Obviously, you hear a lot of noise with AI, but I like to break it down. It's very simple. Keep it simple to the role and responsibility that you're doing in your specific industry. Again, you don't want to get overwhelmed with many different AI tools because it just overwhelms you, right? So just focus on your responsibility, your roles, and your specific industry. Because again, a tool is only going to make our job a lot easier, but it's not going to tell you how to do your role. So again, it all goes back to prompt engineering. It all goes back to reading and writing. So those are just a few nuggets that I want to share. And again, I'll make sure I'll get to everybody's question, but I appreciate the chatter in the chat. Again, I can't see it, so I apologize on that, but I will definitely get to you all. Alrighty, so obviously redefining AI models with real-time insights, right? So as you probably heard all the other sessions, we are actively educating the platform, the tool, the AI models, the ML, right? So anything that you do, I want you to take a minute, right? Take a minute. Doesn't matter what role that you are in, or your responsibility. I want you to understand what are some use cases that you can think that these AIs can kind of help you with. So if you're in healthcare industries, right, think of all the problems that you might have, right, with patients. Let's say you're in the hospitality or travel industry, right? What are some common use cases or problems, and how AI can help with that, right? So, um, I kind of wanted to bring it over here and show you. Let me know if you can see my. Can't see that. I think it might have timed out. So I wanted to go back to this prompt here. Excuse me. I wanted to go back to the prompt here, right? Um, Let me know if you guys can see Chat GPT window. Are you guys able to see my screen?
We're still seeing the presentation.
Okay.
We did see the ChatGPT window earlier, though.
Can you see it now or no? Because I want to move screens to kind of show you guys in real time.
Uh, we're still seeing the presentation.
Okay. Um, let me see. You're still seeing the presentation.
Yes, still the presentation.
Okay. Let me see. Da. Okay, it might not work. I don't want to mess with the functionalities because I know I had technical difficulties. But hey, I'll keep it moving. Again, that's we got to be creative with our approach. Sometimes we have these issues, and I deal with this every single day. So no worries on that. We'll keep things moving on the slide. Alrighty. I just want to make sure you guys are seeing some takeaways. Do you guys see the takeaway slide?
Yes, we have a takeaway slide.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. And then I'll go back again. I apologize. I was trying to jump between screens, but I'm just having little issues today. So again, bear with me. But again, just a few slides here to takeaways. So I want people to really understand that AI is not going anywhere. And I know a lot of you hear a lot of things in the market and LinkedIn and online that you hear that AI is taking jobs. No, AI is going to take your job if you're not upskilling. Plain and simple, right? Obviously, with certain roles, certain industries, they don't need some of the mundane managers and some of the tasks can be eliminated. Yes, that's a given. But if I had one thing to say to the people right now, if you don't start upskilling now, you're going to be in a world of trouble. The shift is happening right now. And again, AI is not new, right? It's not new. We've been using that for Siri, for ordering things, phone, video, all of that stuff has AI features embedded. Right now, what we're seeing is a shift across all the different industries that we've never seen before, right? Um, so fear is not a strategy. So, again, utilize these tools, make mistakes, push back on the Chat GPT. I know. Put your finger up if you've put something in, or obviously not put your finger up. Sorry, that's the wrong word to use. I can't see you guys, but put in the chat yes or no if you've put in a prompt and you didn't like the prompt because it wasn't your voice or tonality. Just a quick yes or no.
Yep, you've got like 6 yeses already.
Okay, and that's when we talk about the human aspect of it, right? Again, the chat is supposed to help us think a lot quicker, but it also can't tell us how we feel and think, right? So that's why I tell people, if you don't like what you put in there, recraft it, push back, let the computer AI know, say this is not my writing, change it. You have to read this stuff because again, yes, it's going to make your job a lot easier, but it also goes back to writing, reading and writing. Before we're able to put stuff in. We have to go through it. Now with AI, you can put this stuff in and get an answer, but that doesn't mean it's going to be right. So I would encourage everybody, if it's not your writing and you want to make it more, human-like or tailored to your language, push back on it. So I always encourage people to do that. Chat GPT is not enough. Obviously we need to dive deeper. Obviously for the role that I'm in, or maybe some of the non-technical roles, but even if you want to dabble in some of the technical stuff, you still need to understand what's behind the hood. So that's the governance, that's the frameworks, that's the ethics. Again, the better your data is, the better the AI technology is going to work. When I talked a little bit earlier about the AI technology, take away the technology. If you don't have a strategy in place to utilize the technology, it's not going to work. Just imagine you're talking technology, everything technical, but you don't have AI champions. You don't have ethics in it, right? So all of that stuff comes together, and obviously AI cannot replace human reasoning. Again, I know you probably heard about that many different times throughout today, but just dive in, right? And for those that are in, maybe you guys, some folks on here might be looking for a job and different things like that. I also wanted people to understand that this is a numbers game market. This is a numbers game market, right? There's no magic way to apply to roles. I'd like to tell people just apply to roles. Just apply to roles. Keep it simple. The fastest way to probably land an interview is look at your resume, look at most of the jobs that you've had, and apply for those jobs. Just because of the market, the way the market is right now, we've never seen this before. And I was laid off, right? You know, I've worked at all top companies, and it took me a while. It didn't take me a while because of I didn't have the skill sets. It took me a while because there's so many talent on the market, and half of the times my resume wasn't even getting reviewed, right? So just if there's a few nuggets that I like to tell people that are laid off or maybe going through job transitions is just apply to jobs. I also wanted to show you very quickly, once I get to the question and answer session, that all the jobs that you apply for on LinkedIn, right? Don't keep track of the jobs, just save the job. So let's say you want to go into a customer success management role, right? Look at all the keywords in those job descriptions. Make sure your resume aligns to that. And I also wanted to show you very quickly on the next slide. For doesn't matter if you are in a technical role or you're a non-technical role. This is a book that I wanted to share. I actually started reading. It's called 51 Essentials AI Terms Explained for Leaders. Very easy read. I recommend everybody to get it. You can get it as audio book. You can also obviously order it on Amazon. Deep Learning AI is a great tool. So again, Data Science Dojo, I utilize that as well for my folks that are hands-on and they like to see things. I recommend YouTube, Udemy, pretty much any platforms, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's SAP, Oracle. Take advantage of those free learning, right? Because again, if you're not upskilling with AI, you're going to be behind. I don't know how easy and simple else to say that, but I encourage everybody to grow, to lean in, ask questions, and create that dialogue, create that community. So that's all that I had for you guys today. I definitely wanted to open the floor up to questions. Um, 15 minutes left, so I did good on time. So I wanted to see what questions that you guys had for me. And again, I did have literally real time. I wanted to kind of show you some prompts and different things that you guys can help, but unfortunately, I had a little technical difficulty, so I apologize on that. But if you have any questions on that, I can definitely shoot that over via LinkedIn or email. So, but feel free to ask questions, any questions that you might have.
Yep, thank you, Mark. I will also be on the lookout for any questions that might come in. So you know the floor is open. You've got time with somebody who's familiar with these large CRM systems and navigating around LLMs. So let's take advantage.
I can answer questions on breaking into technology. I can answer questions regarding what some hot topics around AI. I've spoken in a lot of panels like text giving and different things like that. I'm pretty sure some of you folks might recommend me. So any questions that you have, I'm all game. There's no question that's a dumb question. Again, I'm here for you all. So, and I'll give you a straight, honest answer. Again, I'm not a fluff type of person. I'm not a death by PowerPoint person. If you have a question that you need answered, now is your time to get to it.
Oh, I have a question just about oh, I'm sorry. I'll save mine for a second. But Mohammed has a question about what AI tools that you recommend learning.
Yeah, that's a good question because it's so many AI tools out here, right? That it can definitely be overwhelming. I would say this: focus on the tools that's going to help you be successful in your job. Obviously, you can utilize those tools in your day to day, but to be honest with you, my favorite is probably ChatGPT. And now a lot of people use like Claude and different things like that. But keep it simple because again, there's so many tools out here in terms of like, video tools and editing tools. It becomes overwhelming. So I always just tell people just kind of keep it simple, specific to the role and the industry that you might be in. And I
Uh,
do have I do have a list of probably like 50 different AI different tools if somebody's interested in that. And it's not even technology specific. It's just, again, it's so many tools out here. Just try to keep it simple.
got another question in the chat. So do you have any resume building recommendations, specifically tools that are going to help you create and clean up resumes?
Yep. So I do, and I actually wanted to show you guys on that. I think it was. I don't want to butcher your name. I don't want to butcher the person's name, but connect with me on LinkedIn. I can kind of send you a list. But I like to say this very simple. Whatever industry, whatever role that you're in, you have your resume. Write this quick prompt. What are the top 10 words in my industry that hiring managers like to see? You have those words, you have your resume. Now, once you have that, you put another prompt and say, utilize these top 10 words embedded in my current resume and have 3 bullets. You can look at my LinkedIn profile and kind of goes you example, but keep it very simple. Again, I've been on hiring panels. I've interviewed a lot of candidates. Hiring managers are only looking at your resume. Recruiters are only looking at your resume for like 5 to 10 seconds. So keep it simple, keep it short. Google Genesis is a pretty good platform. I don't use that a lot, but again, there's so many tools out here, and again, it can be definitely overwhelming, especially for somebody that is new to technology, new to artificial intelligence. But again, just try to keep it simple. Try to keep it simple. I can put it in the chat. Put that in the chat for you all.
And once you've got that in the chat, there's a couple more questions. One about security and another one about training LLMs. I love both of those questions in the chat.
Okay, I put it in the chat again. You have to play with it. And again, I wanted to show you all in real time, but I just wasn't able to get it today. But like I said, just feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I can try to help you out as well. And also put my email in the chat here as well too. Sometimes it might be a little easier. All right, next question. What are your thoughts on roles looking for specialists like physics, chemistry, graduates to train LMM? So industry specific, right? Utilize what you learn, your coursework. I'm not sure if you are currently in college or early career, but I would like to say ChatGPT is a good role. This is my current coursework that I've done in college. These are the courses that I've taken. What are some roles to help me to break into tech, or what can I do with the foundational skill set that I already have? Does that make sense?
I think so. So I think the question is probably along the lines of roles where the model creators are looking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Sorry about
training LLMs.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Obviously data engineers. Everybody. We all are. We all use ChatGPT, right? We are using some type of AI for anything that we're doing, right? Doesn't matter what role that we're in technology. We are all training the LMM. Again, that's why we talk about use cases. Just imagine if you're on ChatGPT and you ask the chat 20 different questions, right? They're going to use that same data to answer maybe additional question that you might have maybe an hour later. It has nothing to do with what you just asked. It's that we are training the data. So the more information that we're putting in, the more use cases, the real world, real world things, that's only going to make the LLM a lot smarter. Again, it's using our data. That's pretty much what it is. The better the input is, the better the output is going to be.
There's also a question from Ingrid about asking if you can share what your company's thoughts are about the security of using AI internally?
So I'll take a little different perspective on that because I don't necessarily talk on behalf of obviously my company. Obviously, yes, I've worked at a lot of the big tech companies, but I can kind of give it to you more what everybody is doing. So our job is to make sure that we are being ethical with AI technology, right? So obviously, we're taking a lot of training right now. I would definitely recommend, AI security, AI ethics, AI governance. So understanding, yes, the AI tool is there for a good to help a job, to allow us to be more efficient, but at the same time, AI is dangerous. So you start educating yourself on the dangers of AI, right? And obviously how it's going to be good for good and how it's going to be used for, things that are not so good. So I will kind of say that I don't really have specifics and I probably won't get into specifics on my specific company. However, everybody has a key player in terms of how we can push AI security forward. And the only way we can do that is education, knowledge. Obviously, anything that I learn, I try to give back to the community, right? So that's kind of how we can position ourselves to be a lot smarter, especially in the AI driven world.
Can I'd like to ask a question to maybe clarify something that somebody had asked before regarding resume building. So let's say that I just want an LLM or an agent to build a resume for me, and then I want to be able to like take my resume and hand it to or an existing resume and hand it to a tool or LLM or an agent to clean it up for me. Like what are some ways that I would be able to do that right now?
Yeah, you again, I can only speak off kind of what I usually use. Obviously, I have my old resume, so I might input it in Chat GPT. There's many different resume apps out there. You can use a lot, but again, I like to use Chat GPT. That's kind of my go-to and my favorite. Again, I can send over a list of a lot of resume AI apps that kind of critique it. I can send over things that can kind of help you. I know they have a lot of apps right now that if you're going through interview, right, they have AI apps that can help you with that and ask questions and prompting. So there's a lot of different things out here, but just kind of keep it simple because again, you don't really want to get caught up in what AI tools that you're using, right? You're here to get a job, whether you might be here to break into technology or maybe just to make your well-being a lot better. So I don't want you to get too caught up in what AI tool or technology that you're using because there's a lot of tools out here, but if it has nothing to do with the role, the responsibility, or industry that you might be in, that's a little bit more work. But again, I would just say use Chat GPT. If there's something that you'd have questions on, I'm more than happy to kind of look at your resume. But again, your resume like nobody else. And again, your resume is only going to get you in the door. You still need to sell yourself when you get an interview. So again, I think a lot of people make a mistake that they want to use AI driven resume, but they don't know anything on their resume. That's not going to do you any good. Yes, you can use AI to help your resume, to critique it, to maybe tailor it to the specific role. That's a lot time consuming, especially with making a lot of resumes. But at the same time, you still need to sell yourself and you still need to craft that story into these hiring managers when you get into these interviews.
Right. So, if we're summarizing your answers, a lot of tools, but we got to make sure that at the end of the day, we're the people that are coming in the door, right? It's
Yep,
still the resume is not going to make up for a lack of skill
yep,
or social grace.
right, absolutely. So it's like you can get an interview. I know people that had resumes, Chat GPT made their resume, but when they got into an interview, they couldn't tell themselves. They couldn't tell the story. So again, you want to use it to the benefit of your good, so to obviously save time, but at the same time, a computer and AI cannot tell you. Let me take a step back. You can use AI to help you with your resume, but at the same time, that tool is not going to be on your interview with you. You're going to be talking to a real person. So yes, you can use it for prepping skills. Yes, you can use it to kind of craft your resume and make the job search a lot easier. But once you get into that interview, AI is not there. It's just you and the interviewer.
Well, very good. Mark, if you want to go on further, that's fine. I think right now we're at the point in the schedule where we've got a little bit of a break before we go to our plenary session with Microsoft. So, thank you for being here, folks. If you look inside the chat, you'll see that Mark's email and his LinkedIn are in here, and that should be available to you even a couple minutes after here. So, so thank you again for being here, Mark.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next sessions.
Okay. All right. Thanks so.